Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Spare Parts Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And this week, we're doing something a little different. So this week, we got a little bit of a scheduling issue between the three of us, me, Steven, and Taylor. So what we're going to be doing is two mini episodes comprised of first me and Steven talking about NASCAR, I think, this week, Indycar, whatever else in the news talk about, really. And then me and Taylor will then be talking Thursday. Taylor's actually going to be at Mossport talking about it because she's camping there for the weekend. So she'll be on site, and then we'll talk probably F1 and some weekend predictions from IMSA and for, I guess, the F1 race in Silverstone this week. So yeah, we got a fun week planned, and it's going to be busy and lots of editing, and I'm not looking forward to this. But hey, let's go. How you doing, Steven?
Well, just another fun day in paradise. You know, the usual.
Really helpful to kind of go off that. Yep. Really going to continue a conversation.
Yep.
That's what you say when you're at work, when like someone doesn't want to talk to you. How's it going? Oh, just another day.
Just another day in paradise.
Thanks. End the conversation.
Sorry. My brain is shutting off from corporate speak still.
God. Anyway, so we have some stuff to talk about from this weekend, and I think first is the Chicago street race that almost wasn't.
Oh, what a way to kick off your long weekend if you're a racing fan. Well, I guess just a NASCAR fan. If you're a racing fan in general terms, you had a triple header. You're not going to be bored.
Yes.
But yeah, always great when the inaugural race at a new track almost gets completely rained out.
Yep.
So
I saw some people comparing this to like the NOLA days with IndyCar, where like it's a good track, it should work. Rained out, absolute disaster of a event. Just because the race may be good doesn't mean the event as a whole is successful. And now I think there's a lot of questions of, will this come back?
You know what, though? I think from an interest standpoint, there is still heavy interest in this track. Like, I know following a lot of the NASCAR beat writers, like they were showing videos and pictures of people climbing on top of like bus stops and whatever they could find to try and get a look at the track, because not every day you see a NASCAR on your city streets. So I think there is general interest there, and I'm pretty sure I saw some numbers earlier. I don't know if they were fully confirmed or not, to be honest. Let's have a look and see if Jeff had it. How the TV viewership, and I will preface this with the grain of salt of it was a holiday weekend for both Canada and the States. So even though the race ran on Monday, there is that little asterisk you need to stick next to.
It ran Monday?
Didn't they run? Or no, sorry, they did run.
That's I'm like, no.
Yeah.
They definitely ran. They ran Sunday just late.
Yes, just late.
They ran it as late as they could.
Yeah. Anyways, it got a 9.3 local rating, which is more than 3 times higher than the Daytona 500. I'm pretty sure the national number was close to the Indy 500
That's
numbers.
Impressive.
So again, it definitely helps that a lot of people didn't have to necessarily go to work the next day.
True.
So,
or at least very few people would, because holiday. I know some people work and were open the Monday, at least in the States. Here, not so much, but I know it happens. But yeah. Which part of the event do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the actual NASCAR race first, and with our amazing surprise winner we got?
let's do that.
I think that's the more fun place to go, right?
Yep. The great Shane Van Hamburger, or Shane Van Berger, I guess for short. He's or that's what Joey Logano has crowned him as, anyways.
Yeah, I had no idea where you're pulling that from.
Yeah. So after the race, there was a interview with Joey Logano where he's like, Shane Van Hamburger. I don't remember what his name is. All I know is that he's fast as hell, and that is not incorrect.
I am disappointed I did not bet on him.
Yes. Well,
because
you know what?
I didn't even realize he was running. I was not paying attention to like any of these guys, like of the runoff or the one-offs in the NASCAR. I saw some of the ringers for the Xfinity race. That was the one I bet on because I bet on the Canadians in that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, to be fair,
I didn't think a ringer would come into the Cup Series and win.
To be fair, it wasn't easy to pick him out because I remember looking at that, the odds sheet, and I was like, I have no idea who this is. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, I completely forgot that that the 91 car was running this week.
Mm-hmm.
His odds weren't great. They were only plus 2,000. I was like, do I trust that for a guy that's stepping into a NASCAR for the first time on a track that no one has any previous data on and can't really give him any hints on? Not necessarily, but honestly, probably should have been thinking, this guy probably races a little bit more to that style of track versus the rest of the NASCAR guys. He might have the advantage here. And that's probably why they put his odds at where they were. Like, $1 gets you $20. It's not a whole lot, but still would have been half decent odds to take at the same time.
Yeah.
But
I'd say betting on NASCAR is fun because you really don't know what you're going to get. As for like the race as a whole, Van Berger, let's go with that. Ben Gisbergen did fantastic. Like, what a drive. It wasn't even like a fluke into a win. It was a earned, you're up there, you're fast. Like, I think, what was it? He made a move, it wasn't on Kyle Busch, and then just pulled away from him after that.
I thought it was Justin Haley, because Justin Haley was leading towards the end.
Haley was leading, yeah. Haley had a great, but I think it was...
Or are you talking about earlier in the race?
Earlier. There was a closing stages while he was catching Haley. I think it was Busch, then Haley at the time. Or maybe it was Chase Elliott. It was one of them. But he basically was catching them, made a great move around them, and just pulled away. And you're just like, how is this guy finding that much speed out there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was so much fun to watch. And, like, at the end, when it's, like, Haley or it's Ben Gisbergen, I don't care who wins. I think everyone was excited watching that, being like, we're going to get a guy who's never won before.
Yep,
like,
and Justin Haley, you feel a little bit bad, but he drove what he could, man. He just didn't have it right at the end when he got, what was it, 5 laps left or so that he got passed with?
I think it was something.
It was pretty low on the lap count. Yeah, it was low on the lap count.
But yeah, it was such a good race. It took a while to get there. I will say that. The weather delays and the waiting. And who knows? If we don't have rain, maybe this is not a good race.
Maybe.
Because like the rain creates those slippery conditions, which creates, more difficult to drive. Then you get... Also, this is a NASCAR Cup race in the rain. Can we also appreciate that?
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a Cup race in the rain? I honestly don't know. It's been a while.
No.
I'm going to guess like maybe Watkins Glen, maybe like, I don't know, 2012 or something. Like, it's been a while, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, definitely it's not on one of the ovals, that's for sure.
Wasn't there a Roval one that was in the rain? I can't remember now. Listen, it doesn't happen often.
No.
To have NASCARs on rain tires through the streets, or I almost said streets of Toronto, streets of Chicago. There's a Freudian slip there. Hey. Yep. I'm excited for our own race, okay?
Yes.
But yeah, I was very skeptical going into this weekend, and I thought, okay, this is kind of gimmicky. I don't know how well this will go. The weather made it seem at a certain point that this weekend would be an absolute disaster. And what we got actually was a fantastic event.
Yep.
Besides, I guess, for people that attended, I'm sure they did not go home too happy with the waiting around, being wet. Fun finish, but yeah.
Yep.
For watching at home, when you can just turn it on whenever, fantastic. Great event.
Yep. Yep. Well, you know what? So Jeff Gluck's got so a couple questions that were responses that were taken out of the Chicago newspaper, and they asked, this would be, I guess, local people to say, how did you like the race?
The three people
And
say what race?
there, exactly. I'm a NASCAR fan and hope it returns in the future. Sounds like there's a little bit of issues in terms of how they had the venue set up and accessibility. Looked great on TV looking at the Chicago skyline, so that's a good one. Skeptic when it was announced. When it came down to it, really enjoyed the racing.
Yeah.
So, and if we're just going to go back and look at the responses again, it was an 84.5, I think, on Jeff's poll. 84.5 voted yes, which is number 9 on the road courses and number 4 in 2023.
Take at least one vote out of the no and put it to the yes. Whoops, I accidentally misclicked.
I don't think that makes a huge difference.
Also, in terms of his Twitter poll, just a quick little fuck Twitter for this weekend.
Why? What now?
Well, the whole stupid the rate limit exceeded or whatever.
Yeah.
I saw your tweets that you were gifting in the weekend like a day and a half later. I'm like, wow, great, thanks, good job.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of annoying.
Yeah, we'll have to set up was it Threads?
Threads is coming. Yeah, probably Threads is the one
for Meta. So we'll set it up eventually.
Fine, Zuckerberg, have more of my apps.
Yes. You already hear my stupid conversations I have with myself. Do you want to hear them more through different channels?
Yes. Please tell me more.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But did you see the photo that was taken afterwards of Shane in the crowd just holding the checkered flag up?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, let me send it to you right now. That is it for me. That's it. Like,
okay, so
I don't want to necessarily say all-timer, but it is an all-timer at the same time.
So if you can't find it, can you describe the photo also so that
it's literally
can't see it, other people that are maybe listening can understand.
He is just in the crowd, checkered flag in hand, underneath it, like some track. Like this is on the street,
yeah.
And they've done a track invasion. There's like, was it like a grandstand in the background? It looks like. Yeah, I'm trying to like describe it while also not fully looking at it because I'm trying to send it to you too. So, and Facebook is now screwing me over, but
I'm trying to find it too. But
there, I just sent it to you. Anywho, he's in the crowd. There's the like grandstands in the background, and he's just surrounded by people. And there's a Twitter page called Sports But Make It Art, and it's very comparable to an old like Russian painting of Alexander the Third.
Yeah, or like one of those things of like, it kind of reminds me of like a Napoleon one with like all those men behind him or something, or like in a
exactly
a king in like the front with like all of like their court behind him. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
It looks really cool.
Yeah,
that's a cool
one.
photo.
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, so a lot of good, I'd say, press for NASCAR this weekend when it could have gone horribly wrong. But yes. I think we will see this track again next year.
Yeah, I hope so. And you know what? Maybe there's some teething issues that are not a problem next year once it's at, first year, there's always issues. There's always something that comes up that's unforeseen. Next year, you've gone through it. You know what to expect. So hopefully next year it can go off better.
Yep, and maybe this quiets down if you're going to go racing in Chicago, it's got to be at Chicagoland.
Or hear me out.
We just go back to Chicagoland.
No, you do it back to back. One race weekend downtown, the very next week you're at Chicagoland, or vice versa.
We have enough double runs where we can maybe take a couple tracks off.
Yeah.
So,
or if you're really trying to get into those big markets in those cities, like NASCAR's always tried, do a Chicago race mid-season here. Maybe make it like a pretty important event or something. And then maybe your season finale, not like playoffs, but like your regular season, last race, make that Chicago. I know it's Daytona now,
Yep.
but like try to get that market more engaged.
Yep. Well,
Okay.
again, the interest definitely showed that it was there. Chicago showed up for the race. So,
Good.
and it's not again, and this is not like it's a southeast where it's one of the like 20 tracks that NASCAR races at that people can just be like, oh, I'm just going to day trip out to the race. Yeah, sure, why not? This is away from that southeast hub of NASCAR.
Yes.
So, I guess we should probably have a look at the playoff picture again because, well, not too much.
Not a
has
whole
changed.
lot's changed, to be honest. You had a non-winner, and a lot of guys like didn't have the best races. Like
I kind of want the 91 to now just be in
they're
the
not
playoffs.
eligible, Steven. You can't.
I
do
know,
that.
but it would be hilarious.
But no. As
Run
much
it
as
like
I
a
know.
relay. Run it like a relay.
Now that would be a fun idea. The 91's a different car every week, but I don't think it has enough people in it so far this year.
No, because it hasn't raced every single time, right?
No, it doesn't.
But oh well. Anywho, the other thing we have to take away from that grouping at the top is Chase Elliott has another top 5.
It doesn't mean shit. He's still miles out of the playoffs.
He is 55 points out.
Cool.
At this point.
And the guys ahead of him in the standings had a top 2 finish. So again,
yeah.
Yes, we talked about this.
What?
He needs to finish well. But a guy guys who are immediately ahead of Chase Elliott. Austin Cindric is 2 spots ahead of Chase. Justin Haley is 3, and Michael McDowell is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And they all had top 10 finishes as well.
2, yeah.
Cindric was
6th, Haley 2nd, McDowell 7th. Yeah, you had a top 3 finish, Chase, but you're climbing up a mountain that's growing. Like it's
Yeah. Well, and if you want to go even further, Ty Gibbs has slipped back into the playoffs with a top 10 finish, and Chris Buescher has solidified himself a little bit more with another top 10 finish. So
yeah, he's gonna have to win. It's what I'm telling you.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because it looks like right now. So we sort of went over this last week. Like Harvick and the 2 RFK cars are definitely in, and it's basically down to the Toyotas of Bubba Wallace and Ty Gibbs, and then you have Suarez, McDowell, even Allmendinger and Bowman are within 30 points of that.
Suarez will
After that, like,
Suarez
will get in?
Yeah, I think one of the probably Bubba will get booted unless he gets a win.
Yeah. So, well, and who knows? Maybe we get to the same point as we did last year where you have 2 guys going in on points.
Yeah, I think you will.
I don't hate that. So
it is what it is. Speaking of championships that are already decided, should we talk about IndyCar?
Yes. Indy.
So, we had IndyCar race this weekend.
Just call it done at this point.
Fine.
It's done.
The
it's
Alex
over.
Palou show race this weekend.
Yeah. This has got to be almost over. He's 110 points up on
I've
Scott
been
Dixon,
saying
right?
that for a while.
Yeah, but it's always been we were sort of at the same point where we are with F1, where it's like his luck has to run out at some point, right? The only difference is he doesn't have a car that is consistently 20 seconds ahead of the field.
Okay.
Except that he does.
No, but not only has Alex Palou won 4 of the last 5 races. Let me say that again. He has won 4 out of the last 5. He's finished in the top 5 every race this year except 1. His worst finish is 8th.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. Like I don't understand. Like it's over. It's over. Like was it Vince Carter's slam dunk? It's over.
Yeah.
No one is catching him.
So I had posed a question to one of the guys at TSN who does their racing stuff, and was like, okay, so this is sort of like what Scott Dixon did in 2020, where he just rattles off 3 wins in 4 races. And it took Newgarden that year, I think the back half of his year, he finished all top 10 in the back half and won 3 races, and it still wasn't enough. He got very, very close,
Yes,
but still
because Dixon
enough.
started that year winning basically strong. However, that was also a year with double points for Indy. Without that, and who won Indy that year?
That would have been. I'm just going.
Simple Power.
Point standings. That was Takuma Sato.
Well, that was sad. Oh, right, 2020. That was the COVID year.
Yeah. So
count.
Dixon won 3 of the first 4, and then came second and 5th in the 2 Iowa races. Was second in Indy with double points.
Okay, but yeah, like, yes, Newgarden kind of made it close by the end, and he had a bunch of good finishes to finish off.
Yeah.
But really, that was a duel the whole way. If you actually look at their standings and like their finishing spots, Newgarden had 2 finishes outside the top 10.
Yeah.
Dixon had 3 that were 10 or worse, and like the worst finish for Newgarden was 14th, Dixon was 12th. Like,
yeah,
they went back and forth. They each had 4 wins. Like, that's a duel. That's a championship duel the entire way. There is no duel in this year, though. Like, if you look at it, Palou has won, 3 of the last 4, but there's no one who's either as consistent or putting up multiple wins. Like, if someone else had, like, if Newgarden wins 1, maybe 2 more, he'll probably have to win 2 more, but he has, and Palou has to wreck out a couple times. Only chance. But I think right now, if you were to say $20 on Palou, I think that's safe bet to get your money back.
Yeah. Well, and he's already shown that he's sort of impervious to bad luck. Remember Indy? Everyone thought he was done after the run-in pit lane.
Oh yeah.
And he still salvaged 4th. I say salvaged. He brought it back to 4th. Was a little help with the red flags? Sure, maybe a little bit, but I mean, Indy's not a track where you can usually, even if it's a small incident in pit lane, it's not usually where you can come back from being down so far.
Yeah. Like, Newgarden, I think, by the end of the year, will be second in points. You know why I say that?
Why?
He's been second 3 years in a row.
Oh, so he's just cursed.
This is Newgarden's tenure with Penske, okay?
Yeah.
Won the championship. 5th. Won the championship. Second. And he's on track to get second again.
Well, we got 8 races left, so
I'll bet he wins in Toronto.
Newgarden?
Yeah.
He's won there before, right? So
yeah.
I guess we will see, but I won't hold my breath necessarily anymore.
He's actually won there twice.
I'm trying to remember. 2013?
No.
No? I thought he won there.
Too far back. 2015.
2015.
15,
okay.
2017. So it's odd numbers, 2023, he's going to get it.
Hang on. Is this... Oh, where is it?
Oh, no.
Was this one... No, Dixon won in 2013. Okay, never mind.
Oh, no, Dixon's going to win.
No. Anyways, yeah, it's...
His name is already penciled on the trophy at this point. They're just waiting to actually engrave it.
Yeah.
Here's a more fun question. By which race does Palou clinch the championship?
Probably I'll say Nashville or Indy.
You're gonna
That's
wow,
4.
really? I was gonna say Gateway. I thought I was being aggressive.
At the rate he's going, like it might be. Like if just think about it. It's what 50 points for the win, right?
Yeah.
You get 1 point for leading a race lap. You get 1 point for pole. You get 2 points for leading the most race laps. So that gives you a max of 54 points there. I can't remember how the Fast 12 bonus points are fully awarded, but like
I'll be honest, IndyCar's point system is a little confusing.
it
There's
is.
sometimes a little too many things going on. You should probably simplify it a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like, okay, comparing this to 2020, another time when a guy won 3 in a row.
So it's it's a max 66 points
Yeah, at
per
least
weekend.
Newgarden was with him the whole way. Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't really a time where I think Dixon had like a 100 point, like a 3-digit lead, right?
No, like it got high double digits, but
Yeah, never over 100 points.
no. But again, I think it'll be, we'll say Indy GP2.
Again, you need someone else to go on runs.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna have to be Newgarden. I think at this point, Dixon hasn't been able to close out a win yet.
I mean, it has to be either one of those two.
Yeah.
Like, if Newgarden can rattle off multiple wins, yeah, but he's had such bad finishes too. So like,
yeah.
Again, I think everyone else this year has just been. It's such a competitive field, and Palou has been so good. He's just putting himself like ahead of everyone else. He should be getting a drive in Formula One. I think he's proven that.
Yeah. We went over that last week about how they can do that. So.
But like, if you're putting up numbers like this against former F1 drivers, against guys who are touted as good potential people for F1, like a Colton Herta or a Padua Ward, like you've had those names thrown around, then yeah, Palou is showing he is better than them in the same equipment, in a spec series, everywhere. Yeah, he needs to go over. No questions about it.
Yeah. But that's a question for silly season time. And I mean, again, you can go back to the last 2 weeks of this. Yes, but you can go back to the last 2 weeks of this, or is it maybe 3 weeks? Last couple weeks of this. Go back, give those a listen. We went through like 3 different scenarios where he could get in. So,
yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Well, we did it last week.
Know.
It's been talked about enough.
We beat this horse every time because there's nothing else to talk about for Palou. He's amazing. He's great. He's fast. He's probably showing he's better than mostly everyone in F1 or in IndyCar. Yeah. Sorry, he should be in F1. Yeah.
Yeah.
But alas, we are just talking heads online that
Yes.
have like a dozen people listen to them. So who are we to say? Anyway, anything else?
No, like I don't know. There's not much else to say about Mid-Ohio or IndyCar, I guess, after this. Other than a lot of people were pissed off with Benjamin Peterson, but
would you like to elaborate?
I guess he was just. I'll be honest, I didn't catch a whole lot of it, but I just saw a whole bunch of the meme channels were all like, everyone's just pissed off with Peterson for I didn't even see what.
Yeah.
So.
Well, David Malukas was a 6th place finish. Top 10. Yeah. Good result. He's had a couple of those.
Where'd that move him to? He's 19th.
I still think, in the grand scheme of IndyCar this season, not enough has been talked about Marcus Armstrong. No, he's and he got his props. I think, what was it, last race at Barber? Yeah. That's where he really got his props after he was running up front, got into the Fast 6. Another top 10 finish this week. Like, he's going to be around for a while. He's got some
He's probably got some rookie flaws to work out still, but he's shown some good potential for, was he 22?
He's beating 9 guys who have run a full season. Just want to put that out. And he's missed 2 events. So, know, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he's only 22. Turns 23 soon, but
yeah, that's very young for IndyCar. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, should probably wrap up Rookie of the Year
by
some point. Yeah,
not actually,
maybe not
mathematically, but I think he is.
No.
He's definitely earned, I think, the respect, and he's going to be someone that you will not want to mess with in the future of IndyCar. Maybe he replaces Palou's seat when Palou fucks off.
Could very easily happen.
Also, Palou is not staying there end of this year. No, I don't think so.
No. 35 points up on Canapino for Rookie of the Year, by the way.
That's a good amount of points. Especially that part of the grid.
Yeah. Anyhow. What else we got?
I actually have nothing else. We can go quickly over predictions for the weekend.
That's kind of tough. So we don't have IndyCar, but NASCAR's at Atlanta, and that's a bit of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
So
just pick 2 guys. Who's gonna win?
Part of me wants to say Chase, but I don't know at the same time, because he's just slowly sort of come back to the, like, it was, he's completely out of rhythm. Don't know how it's gonna work. I'll say Chase figures it out finally. He's been trending in the right direction.
I'll go Kyle Busch.
Don't make that option either.
I think
we both just picked our own fantasy drivers. Yes.
Oh no! Who could have saw that coming?
Congrats to William Byron, because Taylor's not here and she can't pick him right now. Make sure when you talk with Taylor, she picks Byron to win.
You expect me to talk NASCAR with Taylor?
No, just
we have to force it out of her, okay?
Yes, but just right off the top, we need to pick for NASCAR at Atlanta. Who's your pick? And that'll get her to pick Byron, and then we'll crash. Anyway, I'm trying to help you get back in the fantasy, because I'm already dead.
Listen, I'm killing you guys in IndyCar fantasy. Thanks, Palou.
It's like a 20-point difference.
I know, but I think it's hilarious.
Which is
for my team,
bullshit.
It's just Palou.
Basically, all my drivers are in the top. Well, both of our drivers are in the top 10, or all 8 of our 2 teams' drivers are in the top 10.
Yes.
I have all my drivers in the top 8, and I'm still losing to this bullshit.
Taylor has, 2 in the top 5? She has 2 in the top 5 and 2 not in the top 10.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah. I guess here's one we can talk about. We're getting one-off liveries for F1 this weekend.
Yes. I didn't even remember that.
We have the McLaren Chrome, yeah. The Aston Martin Valvoline, and the Williams flag, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember what the British flag is called, so.
Union Jack.
That's the one. Thank you, Steven.
There you go. And you're the history guy. Come on.
Listen, I don't have all the answers every time, man. A lot of head injuries, a lot of brain trauma there. It doesn't all stay. It's fine. So those 3 different, I guess, liveries. Do we have a consensus 1, 2, 3 of the best and the worst?
I am not a huge fan of the McLaren, to be honest. I like the chrome. I like the throwback to the chrome.
Did you see their video? They had 2 photos of the Force Indy in there from back in the day.
Yes, I did.
Hilarious.
I did see that. I'm not a huge fan of it with the papaya. I kind of wish they had just said, screw it, we're going straight chrome, because then they could be like, oh, we're sponsored by Google. Chrome. It's a Chrome car for Google Chrome. Get it? So
They've already made that joke though. Like the whole announcement was about Google Chrome.
I don't read whatever they say. I just saw we're going with Chrome.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the whole point is because it's Google Chrome.
I mean,
it's the Chrome.
Okay, good.
So good job. You can do you can also figure out basic marketing, Steven. Good job.
Yep.
The one I like the most is the Williams.
Yeah.
I like that.
The throwback. The throwback works with the what they're doing.
Is it even a throwback?
Sure. They got the golf logo on there.
Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna say. I thought you were just gonna say it was Aston because Aston fanboy.
That's actually my least favorite. It's like, really? That's what you're going with?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Williams one looks really good. The worst part's the battery still, but like whatever. It is what it is. I like the white on it. Yeah, I think that one's the best. Then I'll give it to the Chrome, and then I'll give it to the Aston because the Aston really isn't that inventive. It's just a better shade of green, in my opinion.
Better shade of green, and then throwing on some red and blue,
and then
for
black end plates. It's like, why wasn't this the design all year round? It's what it should have been.
But oh well. We don't design it. We just get to yell what we like and don't like.
Hey, listen, the internet, if you yell hard enough, you can make it happen. That's what we've learned, right?
Yep.
So, that being said, Ferrari, go burgundy again, please.
No. God.
Actually, no. Ferrari, a yellow Ferrari would be the best.
Oh, the yellow.
I think a yellow car would look great for Ferrari. That's just my opinion.
So they just look like a Renault.
I mean, yes, but Ferrari's original color was yellow.
Yeah. But I guess for more recent fans, it'd be like, no, it's supposed to be red. Well, now it looks like a Renault.
Remember that white Mercedes the one time? The white to gray Mercedes. Ugh, that's one of the worst one-offs ever.
Where it was like the tear off.
Yeah, it's like peeling away. Yeah. Oof, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
But they made up for it with the black car, so.
Yeah. I was gonna say the one interesting thing with the McLaren stuff is I wonder if they'll bring any chrome over to this side of the Atlantic at any point.
Ooh. That could be good. I would be okay with that.
Because I'm looking at the pictures again, and I don't hate it as much as I originally did.
It depends on the lighting, and that's the issue with chrome. Like, one of my favorite cars ever is the chrome, I think it was Schmidt-Peterson McAfee car.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send that one to you. But yeah, that one I think is one of my all-time favorites. I tweeted about it earlier this week. It was chrome and red. It looked great, especially under the sun, and the chrome popped. My issue with the McLaren isn't actually the papaya chrome; it's the black with the chrome. I'm like, oh, you could put more chrome there.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I also want to see it on track first.
True.
I will always try and reserve a little bit of judgment until we see it out on track. Once you get the actual like cameras on, like I know they've got the like rendering of it, and they've got all the action shot, or not the action, the promo shots of like Piastri and Lando with it. But I don't know. I want to see it on track, under the sunlight, not under studio lights. Let's put it that way.
That is fair. And I think that's all we got for this week, or at least for this episode. I'll have more with Taylor talking about Austria, talking about all the penalties and that, and all that shenanigans. Yeah. But for now,
a fun calendar.
Yeah, we gotta get this out. We gotta get out of here. We got hockey in like an hour. So
yeah. Speaking of brain injuries,
let's go get some more. Woohoo!
Catch them all.
Yay!
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at sparepartsracing. That's sparepartsracing, and on TikTok at sparepartspod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.